What would you do if your chest tightened, your breath shortened, and no one else was there? It's a moment no one wants to imagine. But for many older adults, especially those living alone, this is how a heart attack begins, quietly, unexpectedly, and without warning. And the truth, it's not the pain that decides your fate. It's what you do in the first 5 minutes. You don't need to be a doctor. You don't need high-tech tools. You just need to know what to do and act quickly, calmly, and with purpose. In this video, we'll show you the 7 critical steps that could help you survive a heart attack even if you're all alone. From recognizing the early whispers in your body to one simple action you can take that could buy you precious minutes, these steps could be the difference between life and loss. If you're curious, if you care about your health, comment the number 1 below to let us know you're watching. And if you haven't yet, tap subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss helpful tips like this. Make sure to stay until the very end because the last step is the one most people overlook, and it might be the one that truly saves your life. Step 1. Recognize the early warning signs. It rarely starts the way you think. Most people imagine a heart attack as something loud and dramatic like in the movies, clutching your chest, gasping for air, falling to the floor. But for many older adults, the truth is much quieter and far easier to ignore. You may feel a gentle pressure in your chest, not painful, just strange. You might feel short of breath while sitting down, like you've just climbed a flight of stairs, even if you haven't moved. Maybe your shoulder feels a little sore. Maybe your back aches in a way that doesn't quite make sense. Or maybe like what happened to Walter, age 74, you feel something that reminds you of heartburn. Nothing more than a dull discomfort beneath your collarbone after lunch. Walter lived alone. He was active, independent, proud of managing his own affairs. When he felt that odd sensation near his chest one afternoon, he nearly brushed it off. "I probably ate too fast," he told himself. But then he noticed he couldn't quite take a full breath, and his hands, usually steady, were damp with sweat. That's when he remembered a phrase his doctor once told him. "The heart doesn't always scream. Sometimes it just whispers." Walter stopped what he was doing. He sat down. He paid attention. And that single decision to listen instead of dismiss may have saved his life. You see, the earliest signs of a heart attack often don't feel urgent. They feel like fatigue, like indigestion, like something you'll deal with later. But waiting is the most dangerous thing you can do. Women in particular may feel pressure in the back or neck rather than the chest. And sometimes the only signs are sudden nausea, dizziness, or an odd sense of unease, something you can't quite explain, but know isn't right. When your body is in trouble, it rarely shouts. It gives you hints, soft ones. And the older we get, the more likely those hints are to be quiet, subtle, and easy to miss. So here's the truth, plain and simple. If something feels wrong, stop. Sit down, breathe, pay attention. Don't try to power through. Don't tell yourself it's just a bad day or a skipped lunch. Because if you catch those whispers early before the pain, before the collapse, your chances of surviving go way up. The first step to staying alive is simply to listen. Step 2, call 911 immediately. Once you feel that something is off, whether it's pressure in your chest, sudden shortness of breath, or an odd wave of nausea, there is one thing you must do without hesitation. Call 911, not your daughter, not your neighbor, not your pastor or your best friend. Call 911 first, always. Time is your most valuable ally and your greatest enemy when it comes to a heart attack. Every passing minute without treatment means more damage to your heart muscle and less chance of recovery. In those first few minutes, what you do can determine whether you survive or not. Let me share a story. Marjorie, age 78, had always been the strong one in her family. She raised 4 children, worked into her 70s, and rarely asked for help. One evening while folding laundry, she felt an odd ache crawl up her left shoulder and into her jaw. A strange chill came over her, followed by a cold, clammy sweat. Her first instinct to call her son. But then she remembered something a nurse once told her during a routine visit. If you think it might be your heart, don't wait. Call 911. Don't call your family. They can't restart your heart, but we can. Marjorie listened, and because she made that call right away, paramedics arrived within minutes. They stabilized her before her heart rhythm began to spiral and got her to the hospital in time. Her doctor later told her, "That phone call saved your life." Now here's something many people forget. Even if you're not sure it's a heart attack, it's still okay to call. 911 dispatchers won't judge you. They'd rather come and find you safe than arrive too late. You're not being dramatic. You're being smart. Never drive yourself to the hospital. If your condition worsens, and it often does, you could pass out, lose control of the vehicle, and endanger yourself and others. And never wait to see if it goes away. The longer you wait, the harder it is to reverse the damage. Also, make sure your phone is ready for an emergency. Know where the emergency call button is, even when your phone is locked. Set up your medical ID if your phone has it. Keep your phone nearby at all times, especially if you live alone. A heart attack isn't something you push through. It's something you respond to immediately. Your heart can't call for help, but you can. So let your first action be the right one before it's too late. Step 3. Chew an aspirin 325 milligrams if safe. If you've already called 911, your next move could quietly tip the scale between life and loss. It doesn't require a machine or a medical degree, just one small pill. In one simple action, chew it. Chewing a standard 325 milligrams aspirin, if you're not allergic and not on blood thinners that would prevent, it can help save your heart by thinning the blood and slowing the clot that's causing the attack. And yes, it must be chewed, not swallowed. Why? Because when you chew it, it enters your bloodstream faster. Time matters. Every second of blood flow you preserve means less damage to your heart muscle. Let me tell you about Harold, age 72. He kept a small bottle of aspirin in the top drawer of his kitchen, not because he planned to use it, but because his doctor once suggested it just in case. One morning while reading the paper, Harold felt a strange tightness near his sternum. It wasn't sharp, more like someone pressing on his chest with a steady hand. He stood up. The pressure didn't go away. Then came a lightheaded feeling and a dull ache moving into his jaw. He remembered what his doctor had said about chewing aspirin. He grabbed the bottle, took one pill, and bit down slowly, letting it break apart on his tongue. By the time the paramedics arrived just minutes later, they told him that single decision likely kept the damage from spreading further. His cardiologist confirmed it days later. "That pill gave your heart just enough time to hang on," she said. And that's the power of aspirin. But only if it's ready when you need it. So here's what you can do today. Keep a few tablets somewhere easy to reach. Your nightstand, a kitchen drawer, your wallet, your purse, even a pill box by the TV remote. Make sure they're not expired. Avoid the enteric-coated or delayed release kinds if possible, but if that's all you have, chew it anyway in an emergency. And please remember, aspirin is powerful medicine. If your doctor has told you not to take it, or if you have a condition where blood thinning is dangerous, don't take it without guidance. But if you've been cleared to use it and the signs of a heart attack appear, take one pill. Chew slowly, stay calm. That tiny bitter-tasting tablet might buy you the time your heart so desperately needs. Sometimes it's the smallest act that makes the biggest difference. If you've made it this far, I'd love to know you're still here with us. Just type the number 1 in the comments to let me know you're watching. It's a small way to say I'm here and I care. Your presence means more than you know, and it helps us keep creating thoughtful content for folks just like you. Thank you for being part of this space. Step 4. Sit or lie down and stay still. Once you've called 911 and chewed an aspirin, your next step might seem simple, almost too simple. But make no mistake, it's one of the most powerful things you can do for your heart in that moment. Sit down or lie down and don't move. This is not the time to tidy up, not the time to change clothes or get ready for the paramedics, not even the time to unlock doors if it feels risky. Your only job now is to let your heart rest. When you're having a heart attack, your heart is struggling to pump blood through a blocked artery. Every bit of energy you spend walking, pacing, even standing only increases its burden. That strain can push your heart over the edge. The best position: sit in a sturdy chair with your back supported, feet flat on the ground, arms resting gently by your side. Or if you're feeling faint or dizzy, lie on your side with your head slightly elevated. Let your body be still. Let your breath slow down. Let your heart do less. Let me share a story. Eleanor, age 81, had just finished loading her dishwasher when she felt a strange tightening sensation stretch across her chest. At first, she thought it was just fatigue. She wiped her hands on a towel, took a few steps, and then the breath caught in her throat. A cold sweat, a buzzing in her ears, a heaviness she couldn't quite explain. Her instinct was to keep moving, to tidy the kitchen, to call her daughter, maybe splash some water on her face. But then she remembered something her doctor once said: if it might be your heart, stop everything. Sit down. That alone could save your life. So she did. She sank slowly into her old recliner. She placed one hand over her chest, the other on the armrest. And she waited, breathing quietly, calmly, as the ambulance made its way to her home. Later at the hospital, a nurse told her, "Staying still helped your heart hold on just long enough. You gave it a fighting chance." So many people make the mistake of trying to push through. They're afraid of looking dramatic. They don't want to bother anyone. But in that moment, stillness is not weakness. It's wisdom. It gives your body the best shot at surviving. It keeps oxygen flowing. It prevents your condition from worsening while help is on the way. So if you ever feel the signs: tightness, breathlessness, dizziness, don't try to be brave by doing more. Be brave by doing less. Sit, lie down, be still, breathe. That simple choice may give your heart just enough strength to keep going. Step 5. Unlock the door if you can. It might seem like a small thing, a detail. But when you're waiting for emergency responders, every second counts, and a locked door can cost you precious time. If you're still able to move safely after calling 911, taking just a few seconds to unlock your front door can make a world of difference. Paramedics are trained to break in if they have to, but forced entry delays. Their care damages your home and can be dangerous if you're near the door when it happens. That's why if you're close to the door and feel steady enough, unlocking it may be one of the most helpful things you can do. Let me tell you about George, age 76. He was home alone one Saturday morning when the symptoms started: pressure in his chest, then shortness of breath. He did the right things, called 911, chewed an aspirin, and sat down. Then he remembered something his daughter had told him just weeks earlier: "Dad, if something ever happens, just unlock the front door. Don't wait for us to get there." So he stood up slowly, walked to the entryway, turned the deadbolt, and sat back down in his recliner. It took him less than 30 seconds. When the paramedics arrived, they came right in, no delay, no struggle. One of them even told him, "Sir, that unlocked door gave us a head start. We were able to begin treatment right away." That one small decision may have saved his life. But here's the key: only do this if it feels safe. If walking to the door makes your symptoms worse, if you feel faint or dizzy, don't risk it. Stay seated or lying down and let the paramedics do their job when they arrive. That said, you can prepare for future emergencies ahead of time. If you live alone, consider installing a smart lock that allows remote access or codes for family or emergency services. You can also get a medical lockbox and give the code to local responders. Many senior communities offer these as part of safety programs. Make sure your address is clearly visible from the street, day or night. And always keep pathways clear. No rugs, clutter, or locked gates that could slow down help. It may seem like a small thing, but an unlocked door is more than just an open path. It's a sign to the paramedics that someone inside is trying to survive and wants to be found. So if you're ever in that moment and you still have enough strength, stand slowly, unlock the door, and return to safety. Then breathe. Stay calm. Help is already on its way. Step 6. Use your phone's speaker and medical ID. In the middle of a heart attack, your phone becomes more than just a device, it becomes your lifeline. And how you use it in those moments can quietly protect your life even when you can no longer speak for yourself. Once you've called 911, one of the smartest things you can do is simple: switch your call to speakerphone. Why? Because holding a phone to your ear while you're short of breath or trembling with chest pain can be exhausting. Your body needs to stay as calm and relaxed as possible, and freeing your hands helps you breathe easier. With speakerphone, you can listen without straining. You can talk without gripping. And more importantly, the dispatcher can hear everything: your voice, your breathing, the background sounds. If you suddenly become too weak to talk, they can still pick up vital clues that help them assess your condition. But your phone can do even more. It can speak for you when you can't. That's where your medical ID comes in. Most modern smartphones, both iPhones and Android devices, allow you to store critical health information that can be accessed from the lock screen without needing a passcode. Here's what you should add today: your full name and date of birth, any major medical conditions like diabetes, heart disease, COPD, allergies to medications, a list of current prescriptions, emergency contacts, people you trust who can be called right away. Let me tell you a story. Susan, age 79, had always been careful with her health. She took her medications on time, kept emergency contacts in her phone, and had even set up her medical ID, something her granddaughter insisted on during a Sunday visit. Weeks later, it may have saved her life. Susan felt dizzy while getting ready for bed. She sat down, tried to breathe through it, and called 911. But before help arrived, she lost consciousness. When paramedics arrived, they couldn't speak to her, but they didn't need to. They opened her phone, accessed her medical ID, and instantly saw her name and age, that she was allergic to penicillin, that she had a heart condition, and that her daughter Karen was her emergency contact. Because of that, they avoided a medication that could have harmed her, and they were able to call Karen immediately. Later, her doctor told her that information helped us treat you faster and more safely. Your phone spoke when you couldn't, so take a moment today. Open your phone, find your health or emergency section, and fill it in. You may never need it, but if you do, it could mean everything. Because when your voice fades, your phone can still tell your story. And sometimes that's all the paramedics need to save your life. Step 7. Breathe slowly to calm your heart. In the chaos of a heart attack, your world can shrink into a blur of fear. Your chest tightens. Your thoughts race. Your body feels like it's spinning out of control. But even in that frightening moment, there's one tool you still have. It's simple, it's powerful, and it's always with you. Your breath. No matter what else is happening, no matter how fast your heart is pounding or how scared you feel, your breath can help bring your body back into balance. You don't need a fancy technique. You don't need perfect form. All you need is a few seconds and the willingness to slow down. Here's how: inhale gently through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold it for 1 second. Then exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds. Repeat this rhythm. Let your shoulders drop. Let your hands rest. Focus on the feeling of the air moving in and out. This small act can reduce the strain on your heart, calm your nervous system, and help prevent dangerous arrhythmias triggered by panic. Let me tell you about Raymond, age 83. Raymond lived in a quiet suburb outside of Denver. He was a widower, still drove himself to church on Sundays, and loved crossword puzzles. One morning while making tea, he felt a slow squeezing pressure wrap around his chest. His breathing shortened. A wave of heat flushed through his face. He sat down, called 911, and chewed an aspirin, just like his doctor had once taught him. But what happened next was even more remarkable. Raymond remembered a breathing technique he had practiced during a stress management class at the community center. As fear crept in, he closed his eyes and began to breathe. 4 seconds in, hold, 6 seconds out. Again and again. When the paramedics arrived, they found him pale but alert, his heart rhythm elevated but steady. One of them later told him, "Whatever you did before we got here, it helped. Your heart held steady." Raymond smiled. "I just kept breathing." That breath didn't cure his heart attack, but it gave his body enough calm to survive the wait. And that's the point. Slow, intentional breathing isn't a cure. It's a bridge, a way to stay centered, to hold on, to stay present until help arrives. So if you ever feel yourself slipping into fear, when every beat feels too fast and the air feels too thin, come back to this rhythm. In through the nose, 4 seconds. Hold, 1 second. Out through the mouth, 6 seconds. Let your breath be your anchor. It may be the smallest thing you do, but in that moment, it might be the one thing that keeps your heart from giving out. If there's one truth we all come to understand as we grow older, it's that life doesn't always give us a warning. And sometimes the moments that matter most, the ones that decide whether we stay or go, come when no one else is around. But here's something just as true. You are never truly helpless, not even when you're alone. What you've just learned isn't about fear. It's about preparedness. It's about having a quiet strength, the kind that doesn't panic but responds, the kind that helps you breathe through the pain and do exactly what your body needs. Let's gently go over the 7 steps, your personal survival plan. 1. Recognize the early signs. Listen to the whispers in your chest, not just the shouts. 2. Call 911 right away. Don't wait, don't guess. Help begins the moment you reach out. 3. Chew an aspirin if it's safe. Let that small act buy you precious time. 4. Sit or lie down. Do less so your heart can hold on. 5. Unlock the door if you're able. Open the path for help to reach you. 6. Use speakerphone and set up medical ID. Let your phone speak when you can. 7. Slow your breath because calm is a powerful medicine too. Each step is simple. Each one is doable. And together they form a chain of care, a safety net that you create for yourself. You don't need to be young, strong, or surrounded by others to take control of a critical moment. You just need knowledge, a bit of preparation, and a heart that refuses to give up. So wherever you are right now, whether you're living alone, aging with grace, or just wanting to feel more secure, know this: you have what it takes. You have the tools. And most importantly, you have the courage. Because surviving isn't about being lucky. It's about being ready. And you just took the first step. So take a deep breath and remind yourself gently, even if I'm alone, I'm not powerless. Now that you've heard all 7 steps, I'd love to know, which one surprised you the most? Was there something you hadn't thought of before? And more importantly, what is one step you'll take today to be more prepared? Maybe it's keeping aspirin in your nightstand. Maybe it's setting up your medical ID. Or maybe it's simply remembering to breathe when things feel out of control. If this video helped you even in a small way, please leave a comment below. Give it a like and consider subscribing so you never miss another moment of wisdom or support. And if someone you care about lives alone or is over 65, please share this with them. One small act could save a life. Your voice matters, your life matters, and we're here for you. Thank you for spending this time with us. Take care of yourself always.